name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman & Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan. And today we're continuing our video series designed to educate and inform the public. So please subscribe to our channel. You just found out you're the father. You've got a kid. Never thought it would happen. Didn't expect it. All of a sudden you found out child was born. You were in a relationship. Now you have a child. What are your legal rights? What are your obligations? Well, first of all, we got to make sure that we, in fact, are the father. In other words, just because some girl calls you up and says, hey, I just had a baby, you're the father, that doesn't mean that you're actually the father. It would be appropriate to establish paternity. If you have reason to believe, because you've been with this person the whole time and you know for certain that you're the father, that's one thing. But if there's any doubt at all, it would be prudent to establish the paternity. And by that, I don't mean go to CVS and get some kind of test, because that won't be binding on the court. If you want this to be binding on the court, an appropriate petition to determine paternity, a DPK, should be filed, and then the court will order a DNA test to a recognized lab whose results can be trusted. And then you'll get swabbed, the other parties will get swabbed, everybody who needs to get swabbed will get swabbed, and you know what? Paternity results will determine. And they will show you're 99.9% ruled in favor of paternity, or they may even rule you out. Let's deal with the scenario where you're ruled in. Well, what does that mean? Well, number one, it means that you're the father, so you got certain rights and duties as a father. There's a lot of rights and duties that attach to fatherhood, but I will discuss, for now, at least two of them. Number one, child support. You are going to have an obligation to support your child in accordance with the guidelines. The guidelines take into account how many overnights a child will be with mom, how many with dad, how much money the parties make, how many kids. So let's assume, for the purposes of this discussion, that you were never married, this child was born out of wedlock, you just found out about it, child is living with mom. You're going to see the child on a scheduled basis. What's the obligation? The answer is that there's guidelines that are going to calculate what the obligation is. Even if you make the same amount of money, or you see the kid pretty often, or yes, you see the kid every day, although the kid sleeps at mom's place, there's going to be a child support obligation. Now, the closer the incomes are, the closer you share the child, the smaller the obligation gets, but there will be a child support obligation. Which brings us to item number two, parenting time. The parenting time becomes very important, not just so that you can see your kids, but remember, parenting time is part of the formula for determining child support. What do we look at? How many kids there are. How much money does dad make? How much money does mom make? And how many overnights are spent parenting time-wise with dad, and how many with mom? So that's a huge element. The more time you spend with your kids, the lower the support. The less time you spend, the more financial imposition comes to the other parent, the more your support. So if you want to have a relationship with your child and at the same time coincidentally keep the support down, you want to bulk up on the amount of overnights that you're going to have with your child. I make it overnights, and I say the word overnights rather than how many days you're spending, because the way the system works now in the calculation, they calculate not days but overnights. So that's something that you have to watch for. Now, if you have questions about that or other details, reach out. We'll be glad to help you out.